In these competitions, we're often encouraged to perform pieces that are meaningful to us personally. This year, I have taken that advice to heart and chosen to read poetry about suicide. I had my own experience with suicide this past November, so I'm uniquely familiar with the emotions and the expressions of these pieces, both the longing to die and the fear of death. Starting with Wanting to Die by Anne Sexton. Since you ask, most days I cannot remember. I walk in my clothing, unmarked by that voyage. Then the almost unnameable lust returns. Even then, I have nothing against life. I know well the grass blades you mention, the furniture you've placed under the sun. But suicides have a special language. Like carpenters, they want to know which tools. They never ask, why build? Twice I have so simply declared myself. I have possessed the enemy, eaten the enemy, have taken on his craft, his magic. In this way, heavy and thoughtful, warmer than oil or water, I have rested, drooling at the mouth. I did not think of my body at needlepoint. Even the cornea and the leftover urine were gone. Suicides have already betrayed the body. Stillborn, they don't always die. But dazzled, they can't forget a drug so sweet that even children would look on and smile. To thrust all that life under your tongue, that, all by itself, becomes a passion. Death's a sad bone, bruised, you'd say. And yet, she waits for me, year after year, to so delicately undo an old wound, to empty my breath from its bad prison. Balanced there, suicides sometimes meet, raging at the fruit, a pumped up moon, leaving the bread they mistook for a kiss, leaving the page of the book carelessly open, something unsaid, the phone off the hook, and the love, whatever it was, an infection. While it may seem quite bleak, there are things that hold us back from that edge. The love of our family and our friends, or even the fear of death itself, which is explored in this next poem, The Suicide by Ella Wheeler Wilcox. Vast was the wealth I carried in life's pack, youth, health, ambition, hope, and trust. But time and fate, those robbers fit for any crime, stole all and left me but the empty sack. Before me lay a long and lonely track of barren hills and darkling steeps to climb. Behind me lay in shadow sublime a lost land of love's delight, alack! Unwearied and with springing steps elate, I had conveyed my wealth along the road. The empty sack proved now a heavier load. I was borne down beneath its worthless weight. I stumbled on and knocked at death's dark gate. There was no answer. Stung by sorrow's goad, I forced my way into that grim abode, and laughed and flung life's empty sack to fate. Unknown and uninvited, I passed in to that strange land which hangs between two goals, round which a dark and solemn river rolls, more dread in its silence than the loud earth's din. And now, where was the peace I had hoped to win? Black-masted ships slid past me in shoals, their bloody decks thronged with mistaken souls. God punishes mistakes, sometimes like sin. Not rest and not oblivion I found. My suffering dwelt with me, just the same. But here no sleep was, and no sweet dreams came to give me respite. Tyrant death uncrowned by my own hand, still king of terrors, frowned upon my shuddering soul, that shrank in shame before those eyes where sorrow blent with blame, and those accusing lips that made no sound. What gruesome Shapes dawned on my startled sight. What awful sighs broke my listening ears! The anguish of the earth augmented here, 1,000-fold, made one continuous night. The sack I flung away in impious spite hung yet upon me, I saw, filled with fear, with tears that rained from earth's adjacent sphere and turned to stone in falling from that height. And close about me pressed a grieving throng, each with a heavy sack which bowed him so. His face was hidden. One of these mourned, "No, who enters here but finds the way more long to those fair realms where sounds the angel song. There is no man-made exit out of woe. You cannot dash the locked door down and go to claim thy rightful joy through paths of wrong." He passed into the shadows dim and gray and left me to pursue my path alone. With terror greater than yet I had known, hard on my soul the awful knowledge lay. Death had not ended, nor found God's way, but my same sad sorrow still my own. Where byroads led to byroads, thistle sown, I had wandered off and gone astray. With earth still near enough to hear its sighs, with heaven afar and hell just below, still on and on my lonely soul must go, until I earn the right to paradise. We cannot force our way into God's skies, nor rush into the rest we long to know, but patiently, with bleeding steps and slow, toil on to where selfhood and godhood dies.